Let's freaking go. Your boy has been so hot and ready to go with all these spring fling film studies we've been doing. You can find them all linked down below. We've already done 3 spring practice breakdowns, and I'm getting so excited about football season, even though we are so far away from it, that I might just do another spring practice breakdown tomorrow. So I understand it's a lot of content heading your way, all these spring practice breakdowns and all these live streams. We had the Jack Besh live stream on Monday. He's obviously an awesome human being. I've been talking to him some, and he's just great. We had the Tuesday night live stream. Now we had the Thursday night live stream. We've been dropping all these spring practice breakdowns. And guess what? It's because I'm fired up. And it's because you're a super diehard LSU football fan that knows all about the world that we live in. We just won football 24/7, 366. And as many of you know, as always, we are brought to you by the lovely folks at the Presley Collection. PresleyCollection.com is where you can get the absolute most flawless diamonds out there. And what's really cool is Presley Collection actually price matches. So if you can find a cheaper price on an absolutely flawless diamond, I guarantee you Anthony Starr Presley will not only get you a better price, he'll one-up you. And let me tell you this, okay? We are working together. We are obviously, some of you guys got a sneak peek of it just a few days ago with our guest that we already have watch designs out there. So we're working on some very inspired Tiger watches. So we got more on that coming up for you. And hopefully we have more players to go along with Jack Besh to come on the channel. So obviously a lot going on in the world of sports. A big thing tonight, I didn't know this because I don't follow them all that closely. LSU baseball is actually playing tonight. I thought every series was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but apparently there are some Thursday night. I think it's coming back in my mind right now that they play some Thursday night series. It is what it is. What's up, LJ? What's up, Kyle? What's up, Old Vet? What's up, Chris? So I doubt this is going to be like one of the most viewed things because LSU baseball is going on and so on and so on, but I don't give a rip. I'm LSU football 24/7, 355. And got to say this. Shout out to my girl, Kim Mulkey, AP National Coach of the Year. You go, Kim. Got to get that natty, though. She said, we got to get that natty. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Obviously, a lot to get to, though, in LSU football news. I want to talk about Pig Cage right off the top here. Obviously, he is going to transfer. What's up, Dev? What's up, Mick? What's up, Kyle? He is transferring. Good for him. I wish him nothing but the best. He is going to start at a Group of 5 school and dominate. And it's not out of the question that he could play at the next level as a special teamer, okay? The bottom line, though, is what happens in life sometimes is there are some things that we don't know. So I'll share with you a little bit of a secret. I actually made a mistake on my film study yesterday, and I had a pro wide receiver who actually watches the channel reached out to me and said, "Hey, you said this, it was wrong, and I made a mistake." Right? It was just an honest mistake, and I agreed. I was like, "Oh, you know what? You are right about that." So I'm always open to getting checked, and once again, this is sometimes these film studies and practice breakdowns can be tough to do, right? And a big reason why it is tough to do is because of what Chris is talking about here, is that while there is media access, some days there isn't media access. And sometimes when you actually get media access, it's only just a little snippet of practice. So always keep in mind that what you're seeing is just a snapshot, and you could be wrong about something. And I was wrong about something, and it got fixed. So that's something that's very important to keep in mind. And the same type of logic applies to Pig Cage. There is so much that happens behind the scenes that we never know about, right? I'm very fortunate to hear about some stuff that happens. I'm very fortunate to have sources or whatever. I don't do the sourcing hardly ever. But always keep that in mind. Okay. And that's the same thing here with Pig Cage. This is a guy who had never gotten a scholarship at LSU, I believe. And LSU, with the new transfer portal rules, remember, with transfer portal rules changing, that means if you can bring in 32 guys, that means that there are less scholarships to go around for everyone else. So, Pig Cage, that is essentially what happened to him. And what is happening is he is being displaced by two guys that are proven in the SEC. Are they Tyrann Mathieu or even Jalen Mills level players? No. But Greg Brooks looks to be a lot like a Ron Brooks type of talent. And if Greg Brooks is even near how good Ron Brooks was for us, a very underrated defensive back on that 2011 team, we're in pretty good shape. And so far, it looks like Greg Brooks is certainly in that mold. And obviously, Joe Foucha is a very interesting player from New Orleans, very seasoned. This is going to be a sixth year. And, you saw how important it was. Apparently him and Tyrann Mathieu have a relationship. Tyrann obviously tweeted him when Joe made the announcement that he was coming to LSU. So those two guys take up two scholarships. And keep in mind, there's that Matthew Langlois guy. There's that Derek Davis Jr. guy. Do you really believe LSU just whiffed on two safeties with both of their backgrounds, knowing Langlois' sub 11 100-meter dash, and Derek Davis Jr. was a top 50 recruit? One of those guys is going to be good, right? Once again, I'm from New Road, so I'm hoping Langlois turns out to be good, and I hope Derek Davis Jr., single-digit number, I hope he turns out to be great as well. Maybe those guys are just balling out of control. And we're not seeing that, right? Because we're not at practice the whole time. So, what happened to Pig Cage is just a friendly reminder that it is extremely hard to be a scholarship football player at LSU. And I know that sounds crazy because there are 85 scholarships. So there are plenty of players who turn out to not really be contributors and get to stay on a full 4-year scholarship. And it is true that Pig Cage is better than a lot of the players that are on scholarship, right? He's better than some of the defensive backs right now on scholarship. Still, did it warrant taking someone else's scholarship away so Pig Cage can have one? No. Is Pig Cage good enough to go somewhere and play right away? Absolutely. And that's why I wish him nothing but the best. I know he had a huge, huge following because of the cool nickname. A lot of you are, and I know Big Al is in here. I know Big Al is a big Pig Cage fan because he just fell in love with that kid's story. This was a guy who just bet on himself, who paid his way to go to LSU and be a part of the team and be a walk-on. That could be brutal. It could be brutal on finances. It could be a mentally brutally thing as well. And he played well in the bowl game. When he actually got his opportunity to play, he wasn't terrible by any stretch of the imagination. It's just essentially what happened is, I just think all these other guys are just guys that LSU views to be better, right? So, yeah, I do think, though, this is a good reminder and hopefully a good kick in the butt to a lot of these defensive backs to take their games to the next level. And if you guys saw our film study that we released tonight at 6 p.m. Central, I know Chris was in there and a few others that were in there. This was a very interesting sight. Did you guys see in the film study earlier that the defensive lineman was all transfers, right? They were doing a 7-on-7 drill, and Philip Webb was out there. Of course, he's not a transfer, but the corners were Greg Brooks. One of the safeties was Joe Foucha. The two linebackers were Kobe Fields and Wes Weeks. So 4 of the 7-on-7 players that we could see with our own sight were transfers. So it's a strange thing, right? You just don't know when your spot could be taken by someone that just floats right in. So let's see. Langlois is killing it so far in practice. The nickel guy is going to have to be someone that can also drop back and play safety. The safeties are going to need to be able to cover in the slot nickel. That's true. And once again, it just all depends on what Matt House is going to do. It was very interesting, though. I heard Tyron Matthew talk about this in his interview with Jordy, and it was a great interview. And he talked about how Matt House specifically was the first and second down expert for the Kansas City Chiefs, which was actually a pretty huge piece of information. So I understand that, we're so focused in on, and this is so true, LJ. Uh, we're so focused in on Tyron Matthew being back, and he's the LSU legend. And you guys know Tyron is someone I've dedicated my whole football card collection to, really. I just love this guy. And it's a very emotional thing for you super diehard LSU football fans. We're seeing him back and, doing this tour and him potentially signing with the Saints. It's obviously great. It's obviously wonderful. Hopefully I get a breaking news alert right now. Ian Rappaport saying Tyrann Mathieu signing with the Saints. Okay. I wish that would happen. I really wish. However, if you listen to all the interviews he did, I think that was the spiciest nugget out of them all, right? Tyrann Mathieu said first and second down expert for the Chiefs was Matt House. And he said that 10 of his interceptions came on first and second down, which is very interesting. Now, once again, that is the 10th. It's not even one of the top 10 most important things he said. He said a bunch of very interesting things this past weekend. And I tried to listen to every single interview. And obviously the juiciest thing for right now is him telling WAFB that he wants to play for, he was very interested in playing for the Saints. He even tweeted it out. But that was a very important nugget right there, because that is the first time I believe we have heard what Matt House's defensive responsibilities were for the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Because you only assume that a coach, if he's a position coach, their job is only to coach their guys, and the defensive coordinator does all the schematics. When oftentimes it's not the case. There's different coaches that have different sets of responsibilities. For instance, like Jamar Cain is the run game coordinator. So it was a very interesting thing. What's up, Jacobian? Good to see you. I don't know. I think this is Jacobian's dad. What's good? Your son having a good spring so far. I mean, really. I should have included him in my film study earlier today. I actually cut his play out, him forcing that fumble. I didn't know this. I did not know that Todd Bowles was Tyrann Mathieu's fiance stepdad. And if you did listen to those interviews really closely, who did Tyrann Mathieu say that he enjoys talking ball with the most? Tom Brady. And keep this in mind, if LSU is really a big thing to Tyrann Mathieu, which it is, it's probably the most important thing to him outside of his family. Don't you think he'd want to play with Russell Gage and Leonard Fournette and all the LSU players that end up with the Buccaneers? I believe Kevin Minter is still on the Buccaneers roster. So one of his own teammates is still on the Buccaneers roster. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu talked a lot about Brady in that Jordy interview. A lot. But yeah, it was really good stuff. What's up, Kyle? What's up, KMC? Y'all want to talk some John Emery tonight? I'm certainly up for it. Not gonna lie, really, I'm a little worn down tonight. It's been a crazy week, obviously. What's up, Dev? I know I shouted you out earlier, but I didn't put you up on the screen. That's very interesting. I didn't know that, Chris. Yeah, God, that's so interesting. Mm. Ooh, I don't know how well Saints fans are going to take that. I don't know. Kyle, I'm just saying. Tyrann Matthew wants to win. He knows how important the quarterback position is. Devin White as well. I didn't mention Devin White. How could I forget Devin White? I could see that. I really can. Now my night is ruined because I didn't think about that at all. But I was like, you know what? He did talk about Tom Brady a lot. And Tyrann and Brady are friends. Golden Boot. What's good, man? Good to see y'all rocking it. Let's go. I love that. I love the Golden Boot pun, especially if you're like myself. I grew up in Arkansas. Golden Boot meant everything to me, right? Now, it doesn't mean everything to LSU fans, but still. Outside of QB, what position battle intrigues you the most? We'll just go through it. QB isn't the position that intrigues me the most. You know what's funny, Golden Boot? I think every other position actually intrigues me more than quarterback because quarterback, you you guys and gals know it just gets run into the dirt, and I have to talk about quarterbacks a certain amount, just because it's a quarterback. So yeah, I think everyone knows the quarterback battle. Let's start with the offensive line, okay? Now, I know Golden Boot features some North Louisiana love. And I know we have a bunch of North Louisiana Tigers in here. We've had plenty of North Louisiana flavor. We had Sean Fox on this channel. He is the king of North Louisiana sports. He would never say that because he's humble, but I'll say it for him. But the simple truth is this, okay? Will Campbell is kind of emerging right now, right? Now it's easy to hype up a newbie, and we always do it, right? Whenever you see him first time in the uniforms, you want to hype him up. But let me throw this your way, okay? So now that we've seen Miles Frazier working more at right tackle, it looks as if Doomerville's been working first team ones and Frazier second team ones. We actually broke down in our film study earlier today a really good rep Miles Frazier had against Quincy Wiggins. If Miles Frazier is going to play more right tackle, then that left tackle spot is right there for Will Campbell to take it. Now, we are big Cam Wire supporters on this channel. We are big Louisiana 3-star fans on this channel. Okay. And I love me a Louisiana 3-star. I do. Every single one of you loves a Louisiana 3-star. There's nothing more we love because if you're an LSU fan, you know the story behind the Louisiana 3-star and how that's, basically fueled a lot of LSU's winning seasons. I want Cam Wire to win this left tackle job, but if you actually put the game film on for Cam Wire at left tackle, it's fine. It's fine. It's not like it's bad, but when he went up against some of the better players, it was not great. It just wasn't. Now, when you put him at guard, his best performance to me was when he was inserted at guard. I like him at guard. I really do. So I think right now, Golden Boot, Will Campbell, especially considering that Brian Kelly talks so highly about Will Campbell, we could have a Cam Robinson situation. Now, is that ideal? No, because it's a lot of pressure as a true freshman to start day one, right? Because if you start day one, that's always just kind of attached to your name, right? That you are a day one starter. And it's a lot of pressure, right? Because you're putting on the shoulders of this young man, we need you to be this guy, our star, for 3 years at one of the most important positions in the sport. But we might be in a scenario where Will Campbell's going to be that starting left tackle. I hope not. Hopefully Tyler Steen decides to come to LSU, but we'll see. What's up, Greg? Good to see you. Let's go. Nola Grizz, let's go. Every time Nola Grizz jumps in here, boom, drops a $10 super chat. I freaking love it. I see Max in here. I see Bruce in here. I see Kyle in here. Golden Boots in here. Freaking love it. Mark is in this thing. Chris Payne is in this thing. Dun, 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 dun. Cisco is in this thing. Baby. Dun, 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 dun. I love that. Cisco. When I see Cisco, I think cooking oil and dumps like a truck. Huh? That's living the vida loca. Dumps like a truck. I'm gonna get demonetized. They're gonna YouTube's gonna be like, you know what? The sound of your voice sounds too much like the song Your Angelic Voice. Putting the river and power with Carter is a match made in heaven. You're on the river? We have to do something about the hog mollies up front. If they get this right, the offense will be potent. And that's the thing. Will might be that mother effing guy. He might be. I might be sleeping a little bit on Will Campbell. I didn't think he could be a day one starter. So let's go to Nola Grizz's question here. Let me know what you think, Golden Boot. Let me know what everyone else in here thinks. Our poll question tonight, do you believe Garrett Nussmeier has a realistic shot at starting? We'll talk about Nuss here in just a second. 68% of you said no. Let's see. What y'all got? Max says he doesn't care. If you're a true freshman, I want you to start. I like that. Yeah, KMC, that was a kind of sucky thing about my film study earlier. We did spend so much time on that one rep. And if you're used to focusing in on that one rep, you'll just cognitively tell yourself, well, Mason Smith is just dominating Tremont Shorts, when the truth is Mason Smith dominates everyone. And I mean, how many defensive tackles are going to be better than Mason Smith that Tremont Shorts faces? I doubt it. I doubt there is one. Mason Smith's probably the best DT in the country right now. Let's see. AMC's riding the Nuss bus. I love it. So a lot of you just don't care about the class. You're like, look, put them out there. True freshmen are meant to start if they're ready. Huh? But how many day one true freshman starters have there been at LSU? Obviously, Derek Stingley's one of them. It's kind of hard. Day one, you normally just let your veterans start. But Will Campbell's got a shot. He really does, right? Especially if the Tyler Steen thing doesn't happen. I mean, Campbell might be that guy. So we'll see. Austin Deculus making some mock drafts. Let's go, AD. Let's go. Yeah, I don't think Fournette started the game, though, right? Plus, it's different, if you play left tackle or corner, because you're not getting taken out of the game. If you're playing one of the two traditional corner spots, you're starting. So, like Elias Ricks, he actually did play a lot in the second quarter. So, it's kind of the same thing. But, yeah. No, on that film study from earlier, Quincy was on Frasier. So for those that didn't see, we did a full film study. We mostly focused on one play, right? And it was and it was just a simple run play to the right. The reason why I liked it so much is that it was a bunch of good on good. It was a bunch of just backups, but like it was good backups, like Miles Frazier, Quincy Wiggins, guys that we could see starting and playing a lot next year. Oh no. Did A&M just lose the NIT at the buzzer? Uh-uh. No. Not Texas 8-4 coming up short in the NIT. I gotta see this. I just Texas 8-4 lost by 1 in the NIT. Are you kidding me? They were winning by a lot at halftime. Oh my goodness. At least give them a title in something. You know what's funny? If I'm a Texas A&M fan, I would much rather just lose that game so everyone doesn't just bug you and say, you know, you guys, you do have one title. NIT champions. I think I'd rather, if I was an A&M fan, just lose. I would. Let's go, Lucky Logan. RSX in the building, baby. Let's go. By the way, if anyone knows anything there's about line play, RSX's favorite LSU player of all time is Glenn Dorsey. So you have to love the trenches if Glenn Dorsey is your favorite LSU player of all time. Actually, you don't, because Putt was a freaking beast. But still, how do you feel about Fitzgerald West at center? Coach O said he could fit there. Yeah, and this is kind of the same thing with Will Campbell, right? Now Fitzgerald West, could he start day one at center? All right, could he? Let me ask you guys this: type Y for yes, type N for no. Do you guys feel comfortable with Fitzgerald West getting a lot of playing time next year at center? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Y for yes, N for no. Do you feel, would you mind Fitzgerald West playing a lot next year as a true freshman? Yeah, KMC, a lot of this is speculation. No one's seen him other than just, the simple snaps we've seen in practice. Okay, this is a good question here from Big Al. Okay, so let me put it this way. Let's just say Charles Turner is a starting center next year, and he gets hurt or he's struggling. Would you be fine with Fitzgerald West being the guy? I mean, I think it's pretty clear he's the center of the future with as much snaps he's already getting at center. Right? He's getting a lot of spring practice reps right now. Chosen one, good to see you. You actually do look like the chosen one. Your head's glowing. We got the fleur de lis, who dat for light. Golden Boot says no, no. Yeah, there is a lot of processing, especially now with the way blitzing is now. you got a lot of those double A gap looks, right? And they're tough because if you get a bunch of double A gap looks, if you're the center, you better be right. Okay. Huh? 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 Oh, don't don't gas up Big Al's beard. We don't need. I'm just kidding. Huh? 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 Big Al, the official treasurer of PHL. Gotta love it, man. We're on with you, Big Al. But yeah, Bruce makes a really good point here. It is harder now I believe, to play center than it was, say, 10, 15 years ago when it was a little bit more run based. Now, with all these exotic blitzes that they can throw at you, it could be brutal. It could be absolutely brutal. Um, so yeah, I just know this to be true. Okay. And it's ironic Danny's not in here tonight. She is our center queen. She's the one that keeps us in check when it comes to that position. The truth remains the same. It was inexcusable for LSU to not have a backup senator ready to go for Liam Shanahan. Inexcusable. Delhi is very interesting, right? I think the issue, Chris, though, is this is a guy who I don't think played center at all in high school, and he's not getting these spring reps. So if he's fully healthy by fall and he's ready to go and get those reps, then I'm more comfortable. Actually, a good question as well. Is he that good, or is everyone else that bad? It's a good question. And I'm sure Brad Davis is frustrated with this lack of options at center right now, right? So we can go down a long list of players that we know can't play center, or in an ideal world, you won't want to play center. But we'll see. Is Tremont Short someone that you could try there? I doubt it, because I think you just want him to play guard. Same thing with Cam Wire. Same thing with Doomerville. It's tough. You know who would actually be a good center? If you look at his low center of gravity and his pure athleticism and his brute strength, and I don't know if he's still in here or not, but Jacoby and Guillory would actually be a really good center. But we need him on the defensive line next year. Yeah, and he played some offensive line as well, but this is true. His main role was playing defensive line, but he played both ways. Uh, but also at the same time, Cisco, what makes it a little bit different is when he got offered by LSU, the message was pretty clear. We're offering you as a center. We're offering you as an offensive lineman. I mean, he had a Bama offer there at the end too, but we'll see. And I think part of it is this too. Dellinger and Martinez are out, and it's obviously a big reason. Yeah, no Cardell chatter tonight unless I get a super chat. You guys know the Cardell discourse can get a little spicy, right? I will say this: my my most viewed spring film study was a Cardell film study last year. So I might just need to just niche down and just do a whole Cardell Thomas channel. Just vlog it. Go up to Cardell and say, "Hey, let me give you a GoPro, and we just want to know everything there is to know about your life." That's it. Let's see. Big Al played center in high school. You got to keep your hand on the swivel. That's true. Okay, I've always wanted to know this though. Like, did your wife take a photo of you uh in front of the Heisen, or was the wifey the only one that got the Heisen photo? Because that's really selfless husband behavior. But I would not be happy if she didn't. return the favor. Yeah, it's true, Kyle, but the predicament we're in is that we don't have a lot of players, period, that have ever played center. Scribo! Scribo! Steen's a tackle. I doubt he. If Steen comes to LSU, you have to guarantee that guy, especially with all the different offers he has and how much leverage he has at this point in the process. You got to, I mean, he's going to want to play tackle. Scramble said, I played center back in my fat days. Hey, man. Chubby life is the best life. I would hate to be, and I'm trying to eat healthier. I run quite a bit, but I would hate to be the person that is just a health nut, right? How many of you actually meal plan or meal prep? Like you have like the little trays and you have like these little fish fillets with asparagus on the little Tupperware containers. How many of you actually do that? It's just like little containers of like little pieces of cod and salmon. It has no seasoning. It tastes like whatever. Skipper! My buddy. Skipper, you got a shout out in the video today. What's up with that? You and Jared. Spoken like a true dad. Jacobian can play fullback too. He's a real football player. Play all 11 positions. That's what we're missing out on. We're missing Jacobian Guillory at quarterback running the option. Who would want to tackle that tank? Yeah, Callie's just got too many like cut people, right? Like I run a decent amount to make sure I don't get 500 pounds, but still. Scott said, Mickey D's. Oh, so she got all the photos. College Football Hall of Fame induction. She also got pics with Vince Young, Rocket Ishmael, and Torrey Holt. Oh, so you weren't there. LJ, if you were there, I need her. I need her explanation why you didn't get these photos. Or y'all could have split it up, right? You could have got a photo with Vince Young, and she could have had a photo with Rocket Ishmael and Torrey Holt. And did you do the cliche thing to tell Torrey Holt to put his hand up where his finger is bending in the opposite direction? Badger gave Brooks praise, so I definitely think he's starting. There you go, old vet. I appreciate you. $14.99. Let's go. Our top super chatter tonight. Who is going to beat the old vet? You can't beat it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It does go a long way. Who is going to top 14? By the way, I did order a bunch of shirts. If you were not a member of the PHL T-shirt club, what is going on? I just got a whole extra load of shirts, and they're just sitting in there, all sizes. And because I send all these prize packs out, all these different cards, look, I'll even send, I love this card right here. Drew Brees card. And this actually is from a specific moment when he had 32 completions for 412 yards and 5 touchdowns. Okay, I'll send you this card. And it was a 42-20 victory over Minnesota. On 12. 412 yards, 5 TDs, no interceptions. Drew Brees probably has the most 5 TD no pick games. I'll never forget that 18 for 23, 5 touchdowns of 5 different receivers versus Tom Brady. I was at that game. That was one of the best games of all time. What's up, FNL SMP? Good to see you. I was there. You do intermittent fasting? I couldn't do that. You got to pick with Dennis Erickson? Dennis Erickson. So your wife got to take photos with all these famous football players. And the one photo, oh no. Is Dennis Erickson the closer with the mustache from the Oakland A's? Or is Dennis Erickson a coach? I don't know. Oh, we got a few intermittent fasting? We got a few intermittents in here. I like that. But old vet, thank you. You get to pick the next topic. So there you go. That's always the rules. But I know quite a few of you aren't part of the T-shirt club yet. Mick's not a part of the T-shirt club yet. Jacobian's not a part of the T-shirt club yet. Well, Kobe. Who is going to join the T-shirt club tonight? All you got to do is follow the instructions below. I'll throw bug bands in there. Okay, the Miami coach, Dennis Eckersley, is the A's closer. Skipper is not only a member of the T-shirt club, his wife is also a member of the T-shirt club. Now, who is going to step up and get a shirt for not only them, but their lovely wives? Let's go. Mind over matter. Good, man. Sounds like a Pharrell album. Let's see. But yeah, I wanted to talk something about Garrett Nussmeier. All vet wants someone else to pick the topic. So yeah, we'll talk about Nuss. If anyone wants to pick up any topic, I'll get to it. Well, not old vet. That's gonna then everyone's gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna super chat now because someone else got in there. But look, this is a simple truth about Garrett Nussmeier, right? He's got a long way to go to win this battle. He's made some good throws just based in the individual drills. The throw we talked about earlier today, where he put it over a defensive back, or he put it over a linebacker to Jack Besh, is really good. That's a very difficult throw. You have to really be on top of your P's and Q's. And you can tell he's been putting in some work. Garrett Nussmeier has the desire to be a great quarterback, right? You know, his dad being a great quarterback coach obviously helps out his situation, right? Being around NFL quarterback coaching your entire life helps out big time. I do have some concerns, though, about how he plays the game, right? You know, he's had a few interceptions in spring. I think those are a little overblown just because, you know, his receivers have dropped it. The second thing, though, and this is just simple truth about Garrett Nussmeier's play style is he is a play extender. He is a scrambler. Is a guy that's looking to extend plays, right? And you know, as far as Garrett Nussmeier is concerned, there's so many defensive ends that can run you down, right? So it's tough, right? It's really, really tough. Do I think he could be an SEC quarterback and win 10 games? Yeah, I do. I really do. But at the same time, it's just going to be so hard unless he just dominates in the spring game. It's going to be so hard for him to win this job over Miles or Jaden Daniels at this point. And what if I do meal prep and plant-based 64 and can outrun UConn? Well, it doesn't take a lot, Sammy, to outrun me. Huh? 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 I don't think Baskerville's in trouble. Mm-mm. Let's see. I don't know. I don't. Greg Penn might just be moving up, but also at the same time, some of the players that might be getting first team reps are the ones that have been doing the best in conditioning drills with Jacob Flint. Because you're kind of guessing at this point who your starters are going to be these first couple of weeks in drills. It'll sort itself out, right? But we'll see. Linebackers really deep this year. No certain slam dunk talents, but at the same time, a lot of capable bodies playing linebacker. So we'll see. We'll see. But thank you for the super channel event. I really do appreciate you. What do you think Noah Kane's impact will be in the running back room? Is it going to be a committee approach, or by SEC play, will it just be a tandem of Emory and Kane? So we are bad gamers. We did a film study on Noah Kane not too long ago, and we broke down all of his big runs that he's had at Penn State, what he's good at and what he's not. I will tell you this: I can say with pretty near certainty that no, like Noah Kane isn't going to be Jeremy Hill level. He's not going to be Leonard Fournette level. I just don't think that that's in his repertoire. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not good, right? I just don't think he's a home run hitter, right? Now, there's a lot I like about Noah Kane. He is a really good short yardage back. He also has a ton of crunch time touchdowns, right? Where in a big moment, Penn State trusted him to have a big carry in a big moment to win a game. And they were all versus really good teams. So I give him a lot of credit because that's something John Emery doesn't have a lot of experience doing. And it is different as a running back when the pressure's on you. Sometimes running backs are good under pressure. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they run the wrong way, like Darius Geis versus Florida, or Stephen Ridley versus Tennessee, or Jacob Hester versus Florida. They find a way to get you that extra yard, right? So with Noah Kane, he's got a good track record of doing that. He's got a good track record of being a pretty good pass catcher out of the backfield. It's just he had one serious injury as a sophomore, and his explosiveness before the injury was not his best trait. So we'll see. But yeah, Noah Kane is obviously a really good back, good veteran to add in that room. And we'll see. He doesn't have a lot of tread on he hasn't, carried a whole lot of load. He's been basically part of a split backfield. So we'll see how he actually turns out with the new running back coach and a new set of scenery. But at the same time, we are bad gamers. It's going to come down to the scheme, and it's going to come down to who the guys are up front, right? Those two things are more important than the person carrying the ball. There have been analytical studies on this, and it shows that the running back, the running back, honestly, in the long term, doesn't really matter. There we go. Nola Grizz wants to join the T-shirt club. Let's go. So Nola Grizz, shoot me an email, powerhourlsu@gmail.com. Large for me and medium for the wife. Need that buttersoft PHL. Let's go. Yeah, just shoot me an email and I got you. I'll send that out, baby. Let's go. Boom. I'm also Power Hour LSU on Instagram and at Carter the Power on Twitter. Also at Carter the Power on Instagram. I got 2 IGs. Don't get me started on Instagram, guys and gals. Don't. I know that's where the Cougars hang. I know that's where the Honeys hang. Don't get me started on IG. I've tried to start not one, but two separate football card accounts on Instagram, and they've locked me out of both of them. And it drives me freaking insane. Like, I just don't understand how people use that app. Like, it is so clunky. It's hard to post. You got to rearrange your photos. It's just But no, look, Grace, shoot me an email. I'll take care of you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Good question here. So the way it works, doing LSU jersey is you don't get the spot back once you get to 7 transfers. Okay. So here's the thing. You are allowed 7 transfers on top of the 25 scholarship guys that you're allowed on your team. So every year, or at least this past year, you're allowed to bring in 32 players. You could bring in a maximum of 25 scholarship high school football players, or a total maximum of 32, with those final 7 being transfers. Now, of that 32, you can have as many transfers as you want. So LSU, of course, with the new coaching staff, has a ton of transfers. So since they've already reached that 7 spot maximum, they can't get any more transfers. The good news, though, is LSU still has 3 transfer portal slots remaining. Now, Tyler Steen, hopefully that's one of them. That would be a very big missing piece for LSU next year. But that's where we are right now, new LSU jersey, as far as the transfer. So, pick Cage, it wouldn't have mattered either way because it was just a walk on. But let's just say whoever is on scholarship decides to transfer, that slot doesn't open itself up, but LSU still has 3 slots to fill. Galifianakis. I love it. Robert, good to see you. Everyone, welcome Robert to the channel. I think you've been around here before. What blocking scheme should our O-line run if we start younger players? I don't know if they'll have the strength to hold up in a power running scheme. Yeah, Robert, and this gets into, schematics, right? For me, and Nola Grace, let me know when you shoot that email. For me, this is a big thing. What is Brian Kelly going to do at tight end? Okay. It's going to be interesting. So Notre Dame, and this is very interesting. I saw a graph earlier where a guy by the name of J. Bud Davis, he is a big Florida fan, and he's just a good analytics guy. And he did a chart of which teams actually ran 11 personnel the most last year. And by far the most important formation, or the most used formation last year, was 11 personnel, right? 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. What's very interesting, though, is LSU last year was one of the teams that ran more 10 personnel than any other team in the country. They were amongst, I believe, the top 10 in teams that ran 10 personnel, which is 1 running back and 4 wide receivers. Now, oftentimes that tight end was Jack Bash, so the analytics team just qualified Jack Bash as a wide receiver, even though he was technically serving, the tight end role. But still, LSU ran a lot of 10 personnel, where Notre Dame last year ran a lot of 12 personnel. They were one of the teams that ran more 12 personnel more often than not. Well, actually, no, they ran 11 most of the time, but they were one of the teams that ran 12 the most, which is 2 tight ends, 1 running back, and 2 wide receivers. So that's going to be big when it comes to the running game, because once again, that adds an extra blocker. The spacing is different. So I think the big question for Brian Kelly, and this would be a very interesting question to ask him at the end of spring, not right now, because he's just going to say, we're still evaluating the position, which is what he's doing. But at the end of spring, a good question to ask Brian Kelly, because as you see, recruiting tight ends has been one of his biggest things for 2023. Already has a commitment there. The most important thing is when it comes to that tight end position, can LSU run some 12? And I think that's what Brian Kelly's going to want to do. And this is it as well. If you don't have the personnel, are you going to just run more 11 and more 10, right? Once again, I know it's a lot of numbers, but basically it comes down to how many wide receivers versus tight ends do you want to have on the field, and that's basically it. So, for me, I think Brian Kelly's a coach that's willing to evolve. I um I think he's willing to play more. I think he's willing to play more 11, 12, and 10. And it's also true as well. Certain running backs run with different schemes better. Mhm, mhm. Tyler, I've been looking at my phone, ready for the trivia question for tonight. Uh, Baylor Cup. Oh, the Texas A&M tight end. I just don't know a whole lot about him. I really don't. I've really not looked too far into it either. I've been more focused on just the spring footage. Um, so yeah, if you have a talented deep wide receiver room, 12 is a way to win matchups. Wait, wouldn't that be the opposite? Wouldn't If you had a deep wide receiver room, you would want oh, look at that. There we go. Charles McClendon joined the shirt club. Coach? Coach? Huh? 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 Coach? Let's go. So yeah, it is past the deadline for an SEC player who hasn't graduated to go to another SEC school. Whoever is Charles McClendon, please shoot me an email at powerhourlsu@gmail.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So we can get you your shirt. It's kind of funny how the Instagram algorithm knows who I am, because right when I got when I was talking about being chunky, which I am, I put up Instagram and it's a photo of shirtless DK Metcalf, and I'm like, that makes me feel great about myself. Coach was your dad? Your dad was Charles McClendon? Oh, that's so cool, Scott. There you go. So I'm actually happy because I'm about to send you a bunch of vintage LSU football cards that I have. And they're not necessarily vintage, or kind of like cards that were printed, I think, in the 90s. And I'm going to send you a bunch of those. It'll be some good memories right there. Scott, there you go. Shoot me an email, powerhourlsu@gmail.com, and I'm going to send you a bunch of goodies. I got a bunch of throwback stuff. Chili Mac. That's so cool. I did not know this, Scott. I've seen your name in here a few times. I did not know that that was your dad. That's cool. Yeah, I can't wait for Saturday. Good. Would you guys want to see a Will Campbell video? I kind of want to cut a Will Campbell video. I kind of did today. What's up, Jacob? Good to see you, man. Tyler, I'm serious. I'm having uh some serious withdrawals in my soul knowing that I don't know what your question's going to be. Can you please try to explain how a pitch up the middle would ever be a good idea? The running back literally has to focus on catching the ball instead of reading the holes. It worked uh because of our RBs. All right, so really good question here. Why did we run that play so much? Well, number one, it worked, right? With less miles, if you played a slower um if you played a slower pace. I didn't know Charles McClendon was from Southwest Arkansas. That's cool. Yeah, I can't wait to connect with you, Scott. Don't forget, shoot me an email. Um, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So that play oftentimes went anywhere from 3 to 5 yards. Well, that was good, right? That was really good for an Edwards on a Les Miles offense because they wanted to shorten the game. They wanted to win the games with their defense. They wanted to play ball control offense, which, as we know now, is not an optimal way to play, but it was for LSU style at the time. Now, it didn't work. We weren't an explosive offense, but at the same time, Tyler, I actually Mike McDaniel, the new coach for the Dolphins, actually runs this a lot. He does a lot of the pitch to the running back up to the middle. And the reason why he says he does it is to help the running back get at full speed quicker downhill because the handoff itself it's easier just to catch it than to just make sure you secure it. And he believes running backs can get downhill quicker. Or no. I think actually I screwed up that quote entirely. I think he said that he likes having running backs out of the pistol. It's something like that. Either way, the reason why you do the pitch is because the running back can have more downfield momentum. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm trying to think what that Mike McDaniel quote was. He said, was it a pitch? Was that the reason, the pitch or the pistol? The center of that quote. It'll come back to me at some point. Shedrick, you didn't miss a whole lot. What's up, Rob? Westweeks is doing fine right now. I would say right now, though, Mike Jones is like far and away the linebacker. If you were to choose one that's going to start next year, it'd be him. Not just saying that for my guy Blake, but I do think he's really good, right? Uh oh, he said pistol, so that's why he said pistol. Um, so it wasn't pitch. So I don't know why you would pitch it back instead of just hand it back. Yeah, West Weeks, I guess is doing fine. We've seen him in a few drills. He was actually part of our film study earlier today, Rob. Uh, yeah, the good thing about West Weeks and a lot of these transfers is guys like West Weeks and Kobe Fields. Kobe Fields still has 4 years of eligibility remaining. West Weeks still has 3 years of eligibility remaining. So even if they don't play a lot this year, they're going to get their opportunity next year. Also, something else to keep in mind as well is Skipper. I got to change my name to the whole man. Something else, and this is very key. Okay, Demario Tolan looks to be a pretty decent football player. So maybe Demario Tolan comes in and says, "Look, I am that mother effing guy. I am ready to start from start to finish." I hate Instagram so much. I really do. I just want Nola Grizz to shoot me a message. Okay, there we go. There you go. I just followed you back, Nola Grizz. Okay, so Tyler's got his trivia question up here. Let me see. All right, so Tyler says, since Aaron's here. Okay, so before we get to this, let's go. What's up, Aaron? Good to see you, man. All right, so which LSU player has recorded the most interceptions in their career? So most interceptions in an LSU career. The all-time leader in interceptions. See, with these trivia questions, I'm always trying to make sure I don't overthink the answer, right? I don't think it was Tyrann Mathieu. I don't think it was I don't think it was Tyrann Mathieu. I don't think Patrick Peterson got thrown to enough for him to be the all-time leader in interceptions. I don't think it was Craig Stelz either. I'm trying to think of a player that started multiple years. Actually, here's what I'm going to go with. God, most interceptions. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Jalen Mills. I'm gonna go Jalen Mills. Okay. The pitch in the middle would throw the linebackers off. I don't think it's Jalen Mills. Now I think about it. Let me think before I look it up. It's not Greedy Williams. He only played 2 years. Corey Webster. Chris says Corey Webster. Trey White's not a bad guess. But would Trey White have been thrown to enough? Okay, so someone who played in 01 to 04. Okay. So I guess it would be Corey Webster then. Chris normally gets these. Chris is really sharp. So I guess Corey Webster's that guy. Or Randall Blue Gay. Could it be Randall Blue Gay? I know he played during that time frame. But yeah, this is true. So if you pitch it to the outside enough and you then pitch it up the middle, you could throw people off. So there you go. Chris gets it right. There you go. Let me look it up. Let's see. Interceptions. No, it is oh, you said since 2000. Okay. So, let's see here. Oh, Nola Grizz is on the ship tonight. I just followed you back on powerhourlsu@gmail.com, Nola Grizz. That's where you can find me. Since 2000. Chris Williams, 20 picks. Like I'll pull it up right here. This is my favorite part of the night. Tyler trivia. Need to do it every night. I'm starting to look forward to it every night. It makes me want to go memorize all this, but it is kind of fun to try and guess this. Thank you, Scott. Just got it. Charles Oakley. Now, if you would have told me there was a Charles Oakley that played at LSU, did not know that. I did not know that there was a Charles Oakley and played at LSU. Yeah, oh, Trey, you're not. I mean, I don't know who Chris Williams is, and I look at this stuff every day, right? So that's kind of the cool thing. So let me do show you this right here. So what's really cool is every single pack, or every time you get a shirt or bands or whatever, I throw one of these in here. Okay. So what's really cool is these cards are mostly when were these made? Does it have the year on there? It doesn't even have the year. I've never even looked what year this was. So every single time you get bands or stickers, while I still have these, and I don't have many more, is in these packs you have a bunch. You get a lot of vintage LSU players. So I've gotten to know a little bit more about the vintage LSU Tigers from the 60s and 70s that none of us even know about. Now, Skipper knows all these guys. Uh, a lot of our older viewers know who some of these players are, but and a lot of these players are players that played for Charles McClendon and Paul Dietzel, players that you've probably never even heard of. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think you should. Uh, See, I'm only modern. I only know modern LSU. Everything '03 up to this point, I'm pretty good about knowing, but everything else is just, it's hard. It's really hard. There's so much, especially with football having, especially college football with so much variance with roster and roster volatility. There's just so many different players that you never even heard of. You would be shocked, Trey, how many people don't know who Charles Alexander is. There's some of the people that are watching this that probably don't know who Charles Alexander is. And this guy is in the College Football Hall of Fame. Uh, but I've interviewed Charles Alexander before, and even he would tell you it's tough for me to even be in the top 5 LSU running backs of all time. Uh, so LSU with so much history, it's tough to keep up with all this. I have a good one. How many overtime victories does LSU have? LSU is 8-8 in overtime games. That's great, right? Well, the Texas A&M game doesn't count because that wasn't pass interference. Tommy Casanova, gotta love it. Max with the super chat. Fun fact: Jared Lee threw a quarter of the amount of Webster's interceptions in one game. uh, Roll Tide, what F you? Mm. Yeah. I love it. I wish you guys could see my phone sometimes. So like YouTube sometimes blocks comments, right? Because they're vulgar or whatever. And I think this one actually is up. And this is from Don. He says, "You have serious issues, bro. You always brag about being on the defensive line." Number one, I've never bragged about playing defensive line. That's just a position I played. He said, "LMFA. Oh, you're 5 foot nothing." I don't know how he knows that I'm 5'0" and 100 and nothing. I'm not 100 and nothing. I wish I was 100 something pounds. That was my weight in high school. I'm in the 200s. Power hour, really, bro? Huh? 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 Even though in the video when I referenced earlier today that I played on the defensive line, I was talking about a move that I couldn't do because I wasn't as good as Jaquelin Roy. So if anything, that's not bragging. It's the exact opposite. But whatever. You guys would be shocked how many hater comments you get. Um, but that comes with the territory. There's 63 of you fun-loving people in here. Gabe Northern. I didn't think we'd get a Gabe Northern reference tonight. Patties! I know you were sweating buckets getting ready for this weekend. Are you going to the game, Paris? All right, gamers, we'll see you on Sunday night. Yes, I'm glad you actually are leaving. Well, actually, I'm not happy you're leaving, but still. No live stream Saturday night. Next one will be Sunday night, like last week. So Sunday night live stream. Still working on getting another current player on the team. And I want your honest opinions. I know some of you don't like interviews, right? I got a message the other day saying, "Hey Carter, I like the interviews, but I just prefer it, just be our normal live streams." Some of you might not like the interviews. As you can see, I'm very selective with my interviews. I don't just have guests on here just to have it. So type Y for yes, type in for no. Did you love the Jack Besh interview? Type Y for yes, type in for no. And this is also true. Danny, what we were talking about you a minute ago. I love doing the interviews. It's one I really do. With the radio background, I'm used to doing interviews, right? Uh, I mean, I I love it. I want as many interesting people. There is a pretty big, big LSU legend that I'm trying to get on this channel, and you guys would freak if we got him on this channel. And we've had to reschedule a bunch. I hope it can still happen. Obviously, you guys remember the Justin Vincent thing. We were patient. You got to be patient with the legends, right? Especially Justin Vincent because he is super busy. And this legendary player is, I mean, it would be wonderful if we could have this guy on. He is no doubt a top 50 player of the modern era. We'll put it that way. No, I don't think I'm going to get Badger. That would be my dream, obviously. And he's done a lot of interviews now. I know he's super tired. But one day I would like to get Tyron on. I would also like to get Patrick Peterson on because I actually had a pretty good relationship with Patrick Peterson in college. I'd speak to him every week during media availability, and he and I, before he would actually speak to the media, we would go off to the side and have a conversation about honestly the NFL. Patrick Peterson would be a dream, and I know he does a podcast. And congrats to Patrick Peterson getting that $4 million deal. I freaking love that man. I really do. And I still think he is undervalued, not only as an NFL player, but as an LSU player, right? I just think he's one of the best college football players ever. But I don't know a lot because I was a 5'0" 100-pound defensive tackle. Yeah, I would love it, right? I would just show Tyron all my cards and he would think I was a freak. That's not a hot take. That's perfectly within reason, right? Yeah, I mean, look. Patrick Peterson is the reason why Tyron Matthew is who he is now, both at the college and the pro level. Now, would Tyron still have been good without Patrick Peterson's mentorship? Absolutely. But, Tyron has said it in interviews how much he owes to Patrick Peterson for his career. And it's still crazy that they were in the same secondary. And we lost Patrick Peterson, and our secondary became one of the best of all time. And it wasn't because we lost Patrick Peterson. Yeah, I still think about what that 2011 secondary would have looked like with Patrick Peterson. So that's still crazy to think about, right? And that just shows you how spoiled we are as LSU fans, right? There was 3 defensive backs in that secondary who in that 2010 secondary that would be the best defensive back at probably half of the SEC schools of this entire decade, right? So it's crazy. It's crazy how loaded that position was. It's true. But yeah, I still think PP7 is a little undervalued um in LSU lore. I do. And I think, especially, when we talk about the greatest of all time, 2019 was just so transcendent. It's kind of hard to rate those guys along with like all the other teams because, it's just different, right? It's just really, really different. Let's go. Nola Grizz. Oh, crap, Nola Grizz. It's interesting. I'm so glad Nola Grizz and Scott. Something else that's cool about the T-shirt club is that I get to know more about you guys. Paris, he's a member of the Booger Band Club. So who's getting shirts tonight? That's all I got to know. Who's joining the T-shirt club tonight? Nola Grizz got he and his wife in there. We got Charles McClendon's son in here. Are you kidding me? All right, so I actually know the answer to this one. All right, oh, the punt returns, man. Yeah, I mean, God, Tyron. It's kind of crazy about Tyron. He was our best offensive player in 2011. He was our best defensive player, offensive player, and special teamer. He scored most of our first half points. He was our best defensive player, and he was our best special teamer. It's just crazy. Now, I don't think we'll ever see that again. I'm pretty confident we'll never see that again. All right, everyone. If you are the praying type, please pray for Big Al. All right, so type Y for yes, type in for no. Are you ready for the trivia question from Tyler? I actually know the answer to this one. And Chris, you're not allowed to answer because you've gotten most of these right. Chris, you're not allowed to answer. Oh, someone's just sneaking in. Somebody's just sneaking in. Somebody's just sneaking in. Whoa, master! Blaster is here. Let's go. I haven't asked a question just yet. The master. The master. The master. The master. The master. The master. Chris, you can't answer. The master. The master. Blaster. All right, who's ready for the question? I'll keep talking if y'all want to. I'm fine. I'm ready to go when y'all are. I just don't know if y'all are ready for this question. The question, because Danny's ready for it. I was waiting for Danny. Actually, I'm going to pull it back up. Make sure I get all of it. All right. What is LSU's biggest come from behind victory in Tiger Stadium? Who are they playing and when? Okay. What is LSU's biggest come from behind victory in Tiger Stadium? Who are they playing and when? Roderick. We need to change Roderick's avatar. Troy, 25 points in 2013? 2003? Or was it Auburn? So I believe that was 2013, the Troy game. Hey, Mac, what it do? Looking so fresh, baby. So, yeah, go on ahead, Chris. I'll let you answer it. Go right on ahead. 2017 Auburn, the DJ Chark punt return game. 1994 Auburn. Chris knows all these. 2008 Troy, the Jarrett Lee game. So my first thought was 2017 Auburn. What were we losing by 2017 Auburn? We were losing. So I think Golden Boot was the one that got that right. Congrats, Golden Boot. Yeah, I think we're losing by a lot. I think the LSU game, LSU Auburn game, we were losing. What was it, 23-9? Was that it? I don't remember. I remember going for it for 2 with Stephon Sullivan. And then Russell Gage had a sick catch in that game. And then it was the DJ Chark punt return with Jacoby Stevens. I was at that Troy game. Type Y for yes, type in for no if you were at that Troy game. Who all was at that game? It was a chilly night, and we were losing to Troy. So many people left. They didn't want to deal with losing to Troy. And I totally get it. Who would want to lose to Troy? Look here. I was living in England. Was I the only one there? Was there anyone else there? I was trying to remember. I just remember. I don't. I remember Jared Lee was a quarterback. Uh, is that Drake Nevis? Liking the new profile pic. There you go, Danny. No, 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 no. Gotta say, Danny's a member of the T-shirt club. Gotta love it. Of course, Danny would be a member of the T-shirt club. I knew it. I knew it. Danny, one of the top PHLers. Bless loved the Master Blaster intro. The Master. I was in basic training back in 08. I stayed at home, watched on TV, listened on radio, and getting drunk for Troy game. Yeah, no, I got you. I got you, man. I looked at your email a minute ago. That got me excited, man. I'll bring the girlfriend. Go get some grub. Max joined the T-shirt club this week, and every time Max is on here, he's super chats. Thank you so much. Can't wait to meet the New York City chapter president of PHL. There was someone that got kind of mad about that in the comment section too, Max. Shout out to Cliff for making that a thing. Cliff, the president of PHL, has been in and out. And he's my cousin. And the thing about it is, well, I see Cliff commenting on other content, which is fine. But you can't be the president of PHL and just kind of forget about your own blood doing LSU content. I don't know. I guess is this a call for impeachment? Is that what's going to happen here? Do we need a PHL Supreme Court to rule on this? Atlantic City got a bunch of ACs, new LSU jersey. By the way, subscribe and also check out Carter's merch and OnlyFans. Well, hey. I might need to do OnlyFans. I don't mind showing off this glorious body. I'm not. I used to be. So growing up, I used to not want to swim with my friends because, I wasn't fit and I was very hairy. I didn't want to show off my hairy body. I was embarrassed. And I don't know. I don't mind showing off my body now. It used to be such a big thing for me. Mississippi Gulf Coast, let's go. Trivia Man is headed out. Peace and love. Tyler, you got to get a question that's actually going to stump Chris. I don't think Chris has missed one. I don't know if Chris has all the answers to the test already. But yeah, I remember going to that Troy game, and I was with my buddy Thomas, and I was also with a girl I was talking to at the time. And I was like nervous on multiple fronts there. But I was like, whatever at this point. And we won the game, and like everybody was like, "Oh, cool, biggest comeback ever in Tiger Stadium," but it was Troy, the landmass between Louisiana and Alabama. Fort Benning in 08. Gulfport, Biloxi, Pascagoula? Is that how you pronounce that? Trey. Makes a Wookiee too? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, babe. That's us. Long Beach is in the hizzy, baby. Long Bizzle. So did baseball win tonight? Someone let me know. Okay, look, I see here. They just lost 6-5. It's whatever. Win the next two and you're fine. Jesse, what's good? K-Town, Germany. There you go, Tony. PHL Dudes. Thank you so much, man. Tony, I'm happy to call you my friend. I appreciate you. All right, Trey. We'll talk soon, my friend. Trey is like the king of the spring game or the spring practice film breakdowns. Errors again? So my question, Danny, is LSU playing at Auburn? And the second thing is, does Auburn have a turf field? Because I always excuse errors on turf fields because the ball is just piping hot on the turf. But God, I mean, what is this? The errors. Goodness. Jesse, we're just chilling tonight. Pray 228, baby. The Mississippi Gulf Coast. I guess we can call Skipper the president of the Gulf Coast region of PHL. So I guess we'll give Skipper that. I also got to meet Skipper this past weekend. Very lucky. Boom. There you go. That's the photo right there. So it's like a photo within a photo. There's Denbrock right there. Excited about him. They're playing in the box? Oh, we can't lose at home. So, Skipper, there you go. You're the president of the Gulf Coast chapter of PHL. That's a good question from Pegasus here. Hey, Carter, haven't heard much of 2023 Louisiana besides Arch. If you mix 2022 together, how many from 2023 would be top 5, top 10? Yeah, Pegasus, you know how I feel about this. It's so tough to evaluate a prospect without seeing their senior film, but obviously we're just doing pure speculation here. I like Shelton Sampson a lot. I would say he's probably the number one player in 2023 over Arch. I guess you would include Arch, but at this point, I like Walker Howard better. So, top 5 players in Louisiana. Osbury is one of them. I guess I would take Campbell over Osbury. So, I guess Sampson at this point, once again, it's such a tough question. I guess Sampson I would have over all the wide receivers in Louisiana. But then again, I also think Xavier Thomas was the best wide receiver in Louisiana this past year. And he was the 10th or 11th ranked wide receiver. Wide receiver evaluation is more often than not they're right as far as like who the best wide receivers are in Louisiana. They were right. Jarvis, Odell were the top two wide receivers in Louisiana. Terrace and Jamar were the top two receivers in Louisiana. They're right about that. But we'll see. Oh God, RD. That's kind of bold. Yeah, I know, Danny. I've gotten photos with Skipper, ASAP, um, obviously Cliff. Still got to get one with Danny. Got to get one with Danny. Gulf Coast PHL meeting. What are we gonna do? To go on the beach? I'm down. I like Pass Christian. It was fun. The pass got some good marks in the pass. Aaron, you're going to the game tomorrow? I'll drive down there if you got an extra ticket. Kidding. I'm not going anywhere this weekend. Uh, Born in the 228, raised in the 504, now live in the 573. That's Kansas City. Ain't that right, Chris? I got an invite to a wedding in KC, so I might hit you up. Then again, I'm going to be tired as you know what. Mick's about to turn 63. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to get to do the spring game. I'd like to go, but Aaron has 3 extra tickets to the baseball game. Man, I wish I can go. I wish. Yeah, I like Samson a lot. I think he is the best player in the class, but Lake Ozark. So there you go. I enjoy these live streams. I really do. Obviously, I prefer there be 500 people in here, right? But the truth is, what's really cool about this is that it is a little bit more laid back, a little bit more conversational. There's obviously, less amount of pressure, to talk about what that big story is or just on that game. So I just love doing trivia and just hanging out. It's always good. Also, our Thursday nights don't do as well as Tuesdays. Might be because it is still relatively new. So yeah, I love Thursday nights. I do. It's just laid back chatter. It's good stuff. I think, Will, this is a good question here. I think the more likely scenario is both Osbury's end up at LSU anyway, right? Especially considering all the turmoil Auburn has been under. But what's that, Emma Cat? Yeah, I don't know. The bullpen thing is very interesting, right? The Baylor Cup tight end from Texas A&M. So, really quickly, if you super chat, we'll keep this thing going all night long. We will. If not, I'll answer as many questions as I can in the next 5 minutes. It could be LSU football related. It could be LSU baseball related, and someone else in here could answer it better than I could. Once again, Blake and every other LSU channel is going to know way more about LSU baseball than me. I can answer anything. It could be about anything. So yeah. So yeah, SEC transfers can transfer as many times as they want if they're graduate transfers. But if you're not a graduate transfer, you can't go SEC to SEC unless you make it by the deadline, and that deadline is already passed. So let's just say Georgia's Darnell Washington. If he's a graduate transfer, he can go somewhere from one place to the other. Jesse, I can only name 2 players: Trey Morgan and Blake Money. And I don't know. I've never been a big fan of pitchers, so Trey Morgan. That play he made was pretty impressive. I'm trying to think. Trey Morgan, Blake Money, Gavin Dugas is someone else. I couldn't even tell you what position. I just know it just from his name. Brad Cressy, Ryan Terrio, Sean Ochinko. Yes, I do think Tyrann Matthews is going to be LSU's next head coach. Hopefully, in a perfect world, Brian Kelly will have gone on a Nick Saban level run, and he hands the keys to the Ferrari to TM7. Barry Cruz missile. That's right. Okay. So I'm at 4. Blake Money, Gavin Dugas, Cruz, and Trey Morgan. But the 09 championship team, I could name that whole starting lineup. Micah Gibbs, a catcher. First base was Sean Ochinko. Second base was DJ LeMahieu. Shortstop was Nola. Pitchers were Kevin Gossman, Lewis Coleman, Anthony Renato. Third base was he wear number 7? I think. I can't think of his name. He was a defensive guy. And then outfield was Jared Mitchell, Mikey Matuk, obviously, beast, and Leon Landry, right? Or was it someone else? I know that they had like a rotation. So I remember the 09 team. And I remember Chris Mitchell was a backup on that team. The guy who calls the games now, Buzzy Heidel, was a backup on that team. Buzzy was so funny. And outside of that, just I can't. I was trying to think. And obviously, I know Alex Bregman and crap. Who was the guy that I was blasted out of my mind after the 2019 championship game? My dad and I rode an elevator with him, and he played baseball. He wore number 8. Lewis Katz. I think that was the name. No, Lewis Katz is the name of a comedian. Mason Katz. I remember the short guy, curly hair, blonde hair, kid can play, can hit. I used to interview him all the time, and I saw him at the championship game, and I was just obliterated. I just met Barry Sanders like a minute before that, and I was like, "Holy crap, you're the baseball guy." I just want to know what y'all said about me before I came in. Should I be concerned? No, he talked about the center position for like 20 minutes, and we're like, well, Danny's here. Danny's not here. So I don't think I'm allowed to talk about the center position for 20 minutes without Danny being in here. Now, Danny, Mick is in love with you. And I don't know if you had a talk with your husband about that. I don't think your husband cares. But Mick just loves you. Every time we're doing a live chat, I knew you were watching baseball, Danny. Every time we do a live chat, I Mick is always like, "Where's Danny? Danny!" Mason Katz is my favorite LSU baseball player. Yes, and I was blasted. I was so happy. Whenever the clock struck 0 versus Clemson, we're all at the happiest moments of our lives. I was like, "Holy crap, it's Barry Sanders." So we took the photo with Barry Sanders, me and my dad, and then we're chilling there with Mason Katz. Danny's here. Danny's here. We discussed center. We talked about Fitzgerald West, talked about Garrett Dellinger, talked about Martinez, talked about Charles Turner. And Danny wasn't here. What are we going to do about this? I almost stopped the stream and said, "Look, I got to send Danny a message." But look, people are busy in the off season, right? A lot of our normal commenters aren't here. I-10 Roman hadn't been here in a while. Um, we have so many different commenters that, stuff happens. Uh, Towboat hadn't been here. We just haven't, it's just how it is. PHL fam is lit, baby. Okay, who's Antoine Duplantis? What is? I guess I don't know Antoine Duplantis. Lane Kiffin went after LA Gritty. Mm. The Badger. It's funny, like it's so clear that Lane wanted this job so bad. But life moves on. I would have loved Lane to be our coach. But it's a BK takeover, baby. Well, yeah, thanks for super chat, Danny, there here at the end. Let's see here. Let's see. So I want to share with you. Okay, well, I guess we're going to keep this thing going. Yeah, Danny, just hit me up. I got plenty. Just bought a box of Arturo Fuentes that I'm going to keep in the humidor until BK brings us a chip. That's actually not a bad idea, right? I'm guessing that is some form of fancy alcohol. I don't know. I don't know anything about a high-end alcohol. I think I know what Ace of Spades is. I know what Johnny Walker Black and Johnny Walker Blue. I don't know anything about like high-end wine or anything like that. I guess Arturo. Oh, they're cigars. I probably should know that, knowing Joe has made cigars a thing. Dang, Skipper, wise. Chris just knows everything. He knows how to make. Lane wanted this job bad. You're on the money, RD. Also, I'm also interested. So, RD bought 5 stickers. So, I'm interested where you stuck all those stickers. The Skipper is so wise. He's like, look, sounds like a cigar. So I called Blake earlier today, and we talk probably like 2 or 3 times a week. We talk for sometimes an hour. And I was like, how do you sit and watch a full baseball game? Like, I don't think I could sit and watch a full baseball game for 9 innings and watch my team, who I love dearly, lose because of defensive errors again. I just think that's just so brutal. And I know we're spoiled as LSU fans. We have a Final Four in basketball. We have a ton of Final Fours in women's basketball. We got 4 national championships in football. We're the best college baseball program in the SEC of all time. Not the best right now, but still. I know we're spoiled. But still, like, I just don't know if I could sit for 9 full innings. Well, I'll smoke them with you. I've never smoked anything in my life. I've never smoked a cigarette. I've never smoked a cigar. I think that'd be worth it, though, to smoke a cigar after the next national championship. I guess I'll just wait until the Natty is back in NOLA and smoke them with you, Will. I'm totally down. Mark it down. That's the thing. We got to figure out when is the next national championship game in New Orleans? What year is it? I know Chris knows, because Chris knows freaking everything under the sun. I guess we got to wait until then. It's still nuts, though. I mean, probably one of the wildest stats in college football history is LSU has been to 4 national championship games in the past however many years, and all 4 of them were the only 4 years that the title game has been in NOLA since, of course, Florida State. What was it? Florida State Vatech. I think they won that in the Superdome. Yeah, I just love LSU football. You know, I know some about LSU baseball history, but, you know, it's just, I don't know. I like it. I want them to win. It's just, I just can't sit and watch the full 9-inning stuff anymore. So, there you go. Skipper, how did you know that was a cigar? Huh? Arturo Fuentes. It's so cool, though, to have such a long-term investment. That is so dope. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird that the year. It's crazy. Yeah, and Tony, I'm like this too. I'm always going to cheer for LSU in any sport, right? But yeah. Will, you should smoke one when Kim Mulkey wins a title next year. I'm kidding. I don't know if we're going to win it next year. It depends. Can that Paige Becker's girl go to the NBA now or WNBA now? Let me see. Camera went out. I got to see me in regular def. I don't know. Some of you might like the regular definition better than the high def. I kind of miss regular def. I kind of do. You can see the cards, and you don't get that bokeh in the background. So yeah. All right, guys. My mom. My mom was in Louisville. So my cousin just became the Archbishop of Louisville. So they had a big thing, and then a lot of my family went. And it's my distant cousin. So my mom went. What's up, La Rougarou? Good to see us. So my mom went, and she was flying back from Louisville, and it was 7 a.m. Mechanical issues on the plane, and she didn't get another flight till 10 p.m. at night. So she's been in the Louisville airport all day, and it sucks. So there you go. All right. I don't know. I kind of want to do a film study tomorrow. I feel like I just feel like cranking out as many as I can. Just another spring practice breakdown. So I'm going to try and get one out tomorrow. Okay. Please hit the subscribe button. Please ring the bell. And our live streams. Gotta love our live stream partner for spring football coverage. Go show them some love. PresleyCollection.com. They have so much good stuff over there, including some of the most flawless diamonds. And they price match their diamonds. If you have a deal in mind, you're thinking about getting engaged or you're thinking about getting something for the significant other, PresleyCollection.com. I'm telling you, Anthony Starr Presley can price match and actually get you a lower price on an even better diamond. I've seen it happen myself. And obviously, the most important project that he and I are working together on is conversations with people like Jack Besh, like we had on Monday. So we're looking to get more current players on board with what we have going on here, teaching college athletes their worth and their intellectual property, their IP. And that's part of the reason why Star Presley brought me on. And you guys know I don't do a whole lot of stuff like this. So PresleyCollection.com, I appreciate them. And it really helps us grow this channel. Number 17 is Chris Hilton. Number 16 is Kyron Lacey. There you go. But yes, on defense, so number 17 is Xavier Carter. So understand that there's double numbers. So some players have the same numbers, but they play on different sides of the ball. So, there's already a few double numbers on the team. So number 13 is Garrett Nussmeier on offense, but then on defense, number 13 is Joe Foucha. So yeah, man, this is my life, man. This is what I do. People, y'all's generosity, buying shirts, becoming members of the T-shirt club, telling people about the channel. That's the only reason I'm able to do this. This is what I do full time. I'm very lucky to be able to do this full time. So yeah, we will see you tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, Sunday night live stream. Once again, no Saturday night live stream. It'll be on Sunday. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. On tonight. Oh, yeah, we didn't end the poll question. I'm an idiot. Ray, good to see you, man. And Ray's always been a part of our spring practice coverage. I'll answer your question here. As far as the poll question is concerned, Coach staff has faith in Campbell's freshness, and so do I, especially with how BK focuses on the trenches. That's true. All right, guys. Don't forget we have our film study spring practice breakdown number 3. I said number 4 for whatever reason. It is on the page. You can find it. And tonight we are doing some salmon. Let's go. Boom.